Hello, 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 and welcome to
Generational
Generational
gap.
Gab.
Ma, more enthusiasm, more enthusiasm. Let's try again.
It's been a long day.
Someone started working and don't know how to act. That's what that is. Listen, welcome
Welcome
to
to
Generational
Generational
Gap.
Gab.
Good job. So how are you?
I'm good.
How's
I'm
the new
good.
job?
The new job is really good. The people are really nice,
Mhm.
and it's just been a really good experience. I started last Thursday, so I had 2 days last week, and I'm here
So
at
it's
the
gonna be your
beginning.
first full week.
Yeah, my first full week, and I'm really enjoying it. I really am. I'm learning a lot.
Mhm.
So I believe it's going to be a good experience. It really is. So
Good.
I'm excited
Well,
about it.
we're praying for you.
Yeah, thank you. But I do like it, and the people are really nice
Good.
too. So
Good.
it's been really good. So
How am I doing?
yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's Monday and it feels like a Monday.
Mhm.
So yeah. Yep. That's about it. So all right, y'all. Today we are going to be talking about navigating conflict with grace. Now, if you do have the book and you're following along, we are on March 18th because someone, I'm not going to say who, but someone didn't want to do that lesson. So we're going to just be skipping a little bit. But like I said, I'm not going to say who, but someone didn't want to do.
Why you gotta go there?
I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there because I feel like, so if you're following along, we're going to March 18th. So, all right.
It's fine. It's all right.
All right. So it says, navigating conflict with grace. The scripture is Proverbs 15:1, the NIV version. It says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger.
So
Let me say it again. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a hard word,
harsh.
oh, sorry, a harsh word stirs up anger. Do you have anything to say about that before we go?
It is true, because if you give, something hard or yelling or
Yeah.
the way that you approach things, somebody, whoever it is going to do that same thing.
Yeah.
They're going to be yelling at you. You'll end up in a big argument because you don't know how to talk to each other.
What's that saying? You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar or something like that. So that's how I'm taking it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really does make a difference, even if somebody, even on the job or whatever, or even talking on the phone to customers or clients or whatever. And if they're all upset and yelling and screaming about stuff, you as a worker or whatever, you have to be able to stay calm and just breathe and because if you start yelling with them,
Yeah.
one of you're gonna get fired or
Right.
something, or it's just gonna make a big mess of things.
Yeah. And there's also that other saying where, like, they say if two people are arguing in the street, they don't know which one is crazy because both, we don't know both of them.
Right.
So
Right.
all right. So it says, conflict is a natural part of any relationship, but how you handle it can either strengthen or weaken your bonds. Navigating conflict with grace involves approaching disagreements with a spirit of humility, patience, and love. It means listening more than you speak, seeking to understand the other person's perspective, and responding with kindness rather than anger. Grace in conflict doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations, but addressing them in the way that honors God and preserves the relationship.
When you approach conflict with grace, you create an environment where both parties feel heard, respected, and valued. This approach allows for healing, growth, and deeper understanding. By seeking God's wisdom in these moments, you can turn potential sources of division into opportunities for greater unity and love.
Mm.
So it's true. You have to approach it with grace. You know, there's I was watching last night a recording of this. She used to be a top model. Her name was Yaya.
Mm.
And she was on the America's Next Top Model. I forget what season it was, but it was a long time ago. But there was something that when she was standing before the judges, they were harsh and just saying really awful things to her about she the way she was dressed, talking about African and all this other stuff. And I guess it really did offend and hurt her. And there were a lot of other things during the that top model thing that had happened, and she was talking about how after all these years, people are still talking about it and bringing it up. And she has gotten to the point where she has forgiven. And as a matter of fact, she was at the Essence Awards, and I guess Tyra Banks had to give a speech or whatever. And Yaya had gone out when the speech was being taken place or whatever, and she didn't hear it. But when she came out of the ladies' room, Tara was sitting out in the lounge with her mother or whatever, and Yaya went over and they talked and everything. And she said they had a really nice conversation and everything, and she didn't know that this speech had gone on where Tara was really kind of like apologizing.
Oh, nice.
So, but she went over to her, and she was, had, like you said, they had a nice conversation and everything, and she was talking, and she said, it's about grace, about having grace over situations and forgiving, because we can't continue to hold on to stuff. It's hard, but you can't continue to hold on to stuff from years past, and a lot of times people will keep it going. What's that look about?
No, keep going.
People will keep bringing up stuff when you've already settled in your mind and in your heart to have that forgiving spirit. I could go back years and, and but I've learned to have grace and to just walk away from whatever that is, and try to explain. Well, you look.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm genuinely listening.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to. I'm not where I used to be in those days. I'm able to speak up for myself.
Yes.
And sometimes even when you speak up for yourself, those persons, it's like they don't hear what you're trying to say. Right. So they take it in a different way, and then they just, So
this is what I was, okay. So if people, I look crazy. Okay. So what I will say is, if people have not noticed, me and my mom are like two different people. Well, we are two different people, but we approach things completely different. And when you're talking, it's like you have to remember, like, you can go into a conversation and have conflict, and you personally are leading with love and humility and patience, but you also have to remember that other person might not be leading with that either.
Right.
So, like, no matter how you come at it, you don't know how the other person is going to be.
Right.
And when it comes to like giving grace in conflict, I also feel like you also have to hold people accountable. And, speaking up for yourself and stuff like that might not necessarily be holding someone accountable. It might just be stating your piece. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was giving you that look, like, yeah, you're standing up for yourself now, but are you holding people accountable? You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like it's a thing where for me, I feel like when I'm in conflict, the thing that I have to remember, even though like there's a difference between intent and your impact. And so my intent might be that like I'm not trying to be like I'm trying to lead with love, but I know that sometimes because the other person might not see it that way or I might not say it the right way, the impact of the conversation or the conflict onto the other person could be completely different and be blown up into something that was not even supposed to be that.
Right. That's true.
So yeah. And it's just like, I don't know. Like it says grace involves approaching disagreements with a spirit of humility, patience, and love. It means listening more than you speak and seeking to understand other person's perspectives. And I think that's the hardest part.
Right.
Because like when we get into situations, it's always like, well, I feel. And you never sometimes you just don't know how the other person, like I said, the intent versus the impact. Their intent might not have been, you might have really hurt my feelings, but because I love you, I'm going to give you a little grace to explain yourself. And I feel like that's where the holding the person accountable comes from, because I feel like a lot of times we, like the saying, like we turn the other cheek is taken a little too literal, where we just keep letting people smack each cheek. But when are you going to be like, listen, that slap hurts.
Yeah.
And you need to stop.
Right. And that, I mean, I have done that.
I'm not saying like you personally.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like in general, as a general person of like who you are, I feel like you are very, like, I'm going to just give the person grace. Maybe they had a bad day when I'm like, no, you hurt my feelings. Now say sorry, you know?
Yeah. But a lot of times I think it's because a person really doesn't feel like they've done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So they're not going to, it's like they don't hear what you're trying to say because they don't feel like they've hurt or offended you or whatever. So they're just going to,
Yeah. I feel like I try to, in any type of relationship or even like whoever I'm talking to, and even if it's not a relationship, right? Just getting to just meeting people for the first time, I want to put out there that like I want to treat you like I would want to be treated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm a stranger and I'm kind to you, I expect you to be kind back. In my relationships, as far as like romantic, platonic, family, work, I want to be treated the way that I'm treating you. So if I'm giving you good energy, all I expect is good energy back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then if that energy is not reciprocated, that's not a me problem. That's a you problem. And I'm not about to take that on. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless, and it says, by addressing them in the way it honors God and preserves the relationship. But I also want to say that not every relationship needs to be preserved.
That's true too.
So,
that's true too.
You know, like navigating conflict with grace does not mean that you give everybody a pass. Sometimes relationships need to let go, and you can still lead with love and patience and understanding. But I need you to understand that I'm letting this relationship go.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, it's hard. It really is hard because I've been in those situations where, things have happened and I felt like, that there was some reconciliation or whatever.
Yeah.
And then something happens to trigger what I've gone through before with the person or whatever.
Yeah.
But they just don't get it.
See, but that's what I'm saying though. Like okay, y'all, this is us really gabbing because mommy thinks that I hold on to things, right? Mommy tells me all the time about forgiveness. And I understand when it comes to forgiveness. I'm here to forgive. Like I completely understand that. But at the end of the day, I can forgive a person, but they do not have to stay in my life. Especially if you have a conflict and that person does not take accountability, they don't acknowledge the things, and they know for a fact that they hurt you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so in your situation, not to give all like details and stuff like that, this person knows that they hurt you.
But do they?
If you have left a situation, like if you have a boss and you quit your job on bad terms, effective immediately, don't you think that there's something there?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
don't put, you're supposed to have God in your life with the spirit of discernment. So you telling me that God never told you like, hey, something's not right with that relationship, especially you being so close to this person? You know what I'm saying? And then there you go, like trying to give this person grace. And I just feel like you got to hold them accountable. You're moving with grace because you're leading with love. You're leading with patience. But you have to also know on the other side, if it's not going to be reciprocated, it's like a brick wall.
Yeah. That's true.
And that's why those relationships shouldn't be preserved, because if you can't meet me where I'm at, we're unequally yoked. I'm just going to always constantly lead with love, but then I'm going to be met with what? Resistance. And you keep doing the same thing over and over all these years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm happy that you
I get it.
you know, I'm happy you did what you did.
I get it. I get it. Yeah. But anyways.
But I do want to say that I am trying to always lead with love in conflict. Because I realize that, you know, the saying where they're like, my mama always told me, if you have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
Right.
So I feel like I took that so literally, where I then would avoid conflict and having hard discussions with people, because I would just rather, like, I know that I'm not going to have anything good to say, or I'm going to lead with anger. So I'm just like, I'm just not going to say anything at all. And then the relationship isn't able to be reconciled, even if it, you know, like, even if there was a possibility. And then I learned that that's not fair to the other person, because some people don't, like you said, some people really don't know what they did to you.
Right.
Some people don't know how they impacted you. You know what I'm saying? Especially people who are like quiet and very nonchalant. Sometimes people just don't know. And it's just like, I feel like you have, like, it's not leading with love and it's not leading with patience when the drop of a hat, you're just like, you know what, forget it. You know? So that's one thing that I'm trying to do, like, where we talked about this last time, where it's just like my default is to avoid, but that's not leading with love and patience.
Right.
Because it's not fair to the other person. So, yeah.
This is good.
Okay. I also want to highlight where it says, oh, and that was also the thing where, like, I have tried really, really hard to make sure that, like, if there's an intense situation, I'm asking God for guidance. Like, I literally just had Mom, like, asked you last week, I'm like, Mom, can you pray for guidance and direction for me so that I can navigate, like, a tough conversation that I wanted to have. And I think that's the best way to handle certain things, because not even certain things, I feel like all things, asking God for guidance and direction to, like, guide my tongue, guide my emotions, set the atmosphere of, like, where, you know what I'm saying, make a peaceful playing field so that we all know, like, hey, we're all trying to preserve something. And so when it says, by seeking God's wisdom in these moments, you can turn potential sources of division into opportunities for greater unity and love. And I do feel like sometimes after conflict, it helps people get stronger if the goal is to preserve the relationship.
Right. Because talking unity, I mean, just being drawn together, you know, even in that conflict. But like you were saying before, people have different perspectives. You don't really know what that person or how that person is feeling, you know. So it's really a thin line.
It is a thin line. But is it that thin though? Like, if you know you care about the person, right? Like, if
Yeah.
you care about the person, I feel like it should automatically be a thing where I don't want to hurt this person on both sides.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if the other person is not able to think about it that way, I'm gonna have to let you go
Yeah.
because you don't care about me. It's just
Right.
all about how you feel and all that you want to say, and you know.
That's so true. It's so true. You
So
know?
yeah, yeah. So let's reflect on a recent conflict and consider how you can approach future disagreements with more grace. Pray for the wisdom and patience to handle conflicts in the way that honors God. I feel like we talked about yours,
Mhm.
how
And I
you.
think I know that I handled it with grace.
Mm-hmm,
You know, I prayed about it.
mm-hmm,
I got counsel,
mm-hmm.
you know,
She
and
didn't tell me till afterwards because she knew I would have said something else. But mm-hmm.
but I got counsel and I handled it with grace, you know. There's nothing else I can say about it, you know.
Do you feel that there was something else? Like, do you feel after your conflict, do you feel like there's something else that you want to say, or do you feel
No.
at peace
I
with?
feel at peace. I felt at peace from the beginning. You know, I was hurt at
Yeah.
first,
Yeah.
you know, but then I felt at peace when I addressed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I felt at peace with it, and I wasn't really expecting the answer that I got,
Okay.
you know, but
In a disappointing way, or in a like, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it would be.
I kind of disappointing because I was trying to hold on
Gotcha.
to the relationship
Yeah.
because I really do love the
Person.
person.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to hold on to the relationship and you know not let. I felt like if I stopped doing or the work part of it
Yeah.
and just hold on
To
to
the friendship.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I really wanted to do.
Right.
You know, so that there wouldn't be anything.
Gray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But it didn't work out like that.
A
So
good riddance.
stop it, Christy.
I don't care. But
That was not right. That's not grace.
I feel like that's grace.
No, it's not.
That's grace with a little spice.
No.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry that you went through that, though. And I'm really proud of you for speaking up for yourself. And I see you working really hard on really taking control of your relationships.
Yeah.
She mad at me now.
Anyways, no, I'm
Look,
not.
Pastor Constance clapping. Because you did it right. Because you did it right. All right. So, how can navigating conflict with grace lead to stronger, healthier relationships?
You go first.
Okay. Well, because when you're navigating conflicts with grace, you're trying to preserve the relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's going to make us stronger because I'm trying to hear your perspective. I'm letting you know how much I care for you and love and respect this relationship, whatever the relationship is. So how could it not be stronger and healthier? Because it's leading to healthier communication than if we're just fighting and bickering all the time. That's not a good relationship.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it would make it healthier even if you had to let go.
Right.
So either both of you would be healthier or you would
and that's right. And also it's a thing where even if you let go of relationships, it still can be healthy, right? Sometimes not everybody's meant to be in each other's lives.
Right.
And I saw somebody put like loving someone from a distance, and that's absolutely correct. You know, like just because I love you doesn't mean I need you near me.
Mhm.
And I can love you, have no ill will, still pray that God gives you all that your heart's desires and
Right.
protects you and stuff like that, but you just can't be in my life at this capacity.
Right.
And I feel like that's still handling conflict with grace when we agree to disagree.
Right. That's good.
You still mad at me? Is this a
I'm
conflict?
not mad at you.
Are we having conflict in real time?
I am not mad at you.
Okay.
I'm not mad at you.
But
I am not. There's no but.
okay.
I love you.
Aw. All right. The further Bible reading, Mom.
Romans 12:18 from the New International Version. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Live at peace with everyone as possible.
And that's
As,
but that's
you
what we
know,
were just saying. Like
yeah.
living with people is live at peace with everyone is literally doesn't mean like I have to be friends with you. I have to talk to you all the time. Living at peace is like making peace with the situation that we can no longer have this kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no more conflict. There's no more discord. We have part ways. I wish you the best. That's still peace.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's
peace
like
for you.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because like you can be like, oh, I'm not going to talk to this person again, but there's still conflict where like you still see them and you roll in your eyes and you see them and there's like this weird energy. That's not peace.
Right.
So,
and that's one of the things too that Yaya talked about.
mm-hmm.
Because at first that's the way it would be,
Mm-hmm.
you know, afraid that you're going to see this person and what would we do?
Yep.
Would we just try to ignore
Yeah.
and make believe we didn't see the
I love
person
that.
or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but you can't, if you are a God-fearing person, you can't do that. You can't just walk past a person. You still have to be able to be cordial,
But
you
that's
know,
is,
and
but
just,
is
I mean,
walking past a person not cordial though?
I'm just saying, if you see that person and you're really trying to avoid them or walking past them, I don't think that's, well, that's just me. I still have to say hi, you know, I still have to
But
be
why?
cordial, because if we're God's children, God's creation, and everything about God, we're supposed to emulate him. We're supposed to be like him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to happen.
But what if it's like me turning my other cheek so now I can't see you?
You're so crazy.
I'm just saying. Like I don't know. And this is where we agree to disagree because I feel like I can forgive you and
I know you
now
with this girl right here. If you mess with her, she'll cut you off just like that and walk right away. She'll just cut you.
We have nothing else to say. I love you with the love of the Lord. Yes, Jesus. Jesus loves the Lord. I understand. But, and this is, I just feel like I don't have to give energy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if we have decided to part ways and there's just nothing there, I feel like I guess maybe it's like I'm not going to go out of my way for it. I guess if like we walk right by each other, a nice like hello is fine. But like if I see you across the room, I'm not going to go out of my way just because, you know, that's just how I am. So.
Yeah. Well, this was a good conversation.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, it really was. Even just to think about some of these things, but we do have to be able to navigate conflict with grace. We can't be holding on to a lot of stuff. You know, sometimes people hold on to things for years and years.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way. You know, so it's something to pray about, you know, and ask God to just help to lift.
Yeah.
Because it can be burdensome, especially if you're continually thinking about how that person may have hurt you or whatever.
Yeah.
So it can be a burden on your life, and that's gonna, make things hard for you.
Do you feel that like if you don't move with grace for your conflicts, do you feel like that can hinder you from progressing in
I think it can.
like in life and in God's will?
I think it can, because if you're holding on to that, whatever it is,
Mm.
it can, just that can do, go fall into other areas of your life,
Yeah.
and it can hold you back from where you're supposed to be, and it can hinder God's blessings,
Yeah.
in your life. You're holding yourself back from receiving everything that God has for you to do and to be in your life, because you're holding on to issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, this was a really good topic, because so many people in the world are holding on to stuff.
Yeah.
Holding on to
we
conflict.
can't let negativity navigate our lives.
Right. That's a good thing. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
We really can't, and so many people are there's families.
Mhm.
People in families. I can't even imagine
Yeah.
not talking to my sisters or my brothers or my
Mhm.
mother or whoever.
Mhm.
But there's so many people in life that are holding on
Yeah.
to conflict,
Yeah.
and they just cannot let it go.
Mhm.
I just can't imagine that at
Mhm.
all. But it's happening.
Mhm.
It happens, so just have to pray and ask God to help you to release it,
Mhm.
to let it go.
Or like, I feel like pray and ask God to show you direction on
Right.
what to do. Because
What
I
to
feel like
do.
sometimes it's hard to just let
Let it
things go,
go.
because sometimes things have to be acknowledged. And sometimes you have to ask
Mhm.
God to touch the other person.
Will touch you
Well,
first.
yes, touch me first. But I feel
Right.
like Lord knows to touch me already, because I'm already praying to him about it. I'm already taking it to him. So I feel like the next prayer should be to touch the other person, to let them have the ears to hear and the open heart in order to fix that. You know what I'm saying?
And to bring unity about
Right.
reconciliation.
Right.
So.
If it's supposed to be.
Right. That's
If it's
true.
supposed to be. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Are you guys ready for the prayer? All right. So, like I said, make sure you guys are saying it so loud that we hear you all the way on the other side of Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear it. I want my ears to ring. All right. So let's say this out loud, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Father, help me to navigate conflict with grace and patience. Teach me to respond with love, to seek understanding, and to approach disagreements in a way that honors you. Amen.
We want to do everything to honor God and who he's created us to be. We need to honor our Father in the lives that we live, so yeah. Just take time. If you came on late, take time and go back, because this is going to be up on Facebook. And Facebook has some new thing where they'll only keep stuff up for 30 days. But what I'm doing is going into YouTube and sharing it back onto the page. But take time to go back and listen to this conversation and look at where you stand. Ask yourself, where do I stand in this?
Yeah.
Is there some conflict in my life that I need to be able to navigate with grace?
Yeah.
Or
it could also be a thing where you just take these as tools for the next time that there's conflict. Because there's always going to be conflict.
There's always going to be conflict.
So now we can just take this and we know how to navigate it and prepare ourselves for the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we thank you for watching. We thank you for being with us. We thank you for the comments. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. So may the blessings of the good Lord be richly upon each one of you. And we will see you the next time. Have a good evening.
Good night, y'all.